Y'all, I think about this literally daily because this is just the type of person that I am. But I always think about how hard Michael really had it out here in these streets, man. Okay? First, you have your first op in your life, your first enemy, the person who really, really made you feel like the worst. Okay? Self esteem to the ground. Mr. Joseph Jackson. And this biopic does a really, really good job of showing just how much Joseph was Michael's op. Like, he really, really was. Like, I've always been a Joseph Jackson hater, and all the people who used to come online and act like it was okay for what Joseph did to Michael and his kid and, his other kids. But no, Joseph Jackson deserves nothing. He deserves nothing. He deserves absolutely nothing. Shout out to Coleman Domingo. He did incredible in the biopic, okay? He made me hate Joseph even more. And that says a lot because I already have vitriol for that man forever and always. So there's that, right? Then to be going from young boy band member in the early 70s to the mid 70s, late 70s, being a teenager and going through puberty and also going through having like acne and all of that stuff, and your father already making you feel like you're nothing. Yeah. Then to have you go solo, you do your first, no, not first, we know, but like your first real solo record, right? No backing from your brothers, nothing. Your first solo record where it's just you, and you're doing great. You feeling yourself. And then the Grammys come around, and they decide they're not going to give you Album of the Year. They're going to give you some bogus R&B album award. Grateful? 100%. Not what Michael wanted. So he was like, you know what? Screw the Grammys. I'm coming back with a vengeance. He was Mr. Affirmations, and he said, I'm coming back with a vengeance, and here comes Thriller. I'm gonna make y'all eat y'all words, and y'all gonna give me Album of the Year and some more some, okay? And so there was all that. But then vitiligo creeping in every day, getting worse. Lupus getting worse, right? Then his stank ass father decides, oh, Michael can't have any solo tours. He has to be there for the brothers. So what? He goes on tour. Instead of going on a solo off the wall tour, he has to take his brothers. Okay? Instead of going on a solo Thriller tour, he has to take his brothers. Okay? And then his father, his stank father, thought it was a good idea, because Michael didn't even want to do the Victory Tour. He thought it was a good idea for him to be out here making him do that Pepsi commercial he didn't want to do. Michael gets third-degree burns on his scalp, and Joseph is still out here like, well, you still gonna do the tour? Sir, your son is in the ICU, he's in the trauma unit, he's in the burn center, and you are still out here like, let me come out here and act like Michael still needs to be on tour with his brothers. You gotta support the brothers. No, he does not. Okay? The brothers would have been fine without him. Okay? Literally. Shout out to the brothers, but let's be honest. Okay? Joseph, calm down. Then, to do the scam of all scams, right? And to link up with Don King, do the scam of all scams, and scam Michael's fans, the Jackson 5 Jackson fans, out of their money, trying to get them to pay upwards of hundreds of dollars just so they can get the chance to get actual tickets to the Victory Tour. When Michael had to come on stage, he had to do a whole press conference, and he had to remind people, no, listen, I will not do this to my fans, okay? Y'all know I don't care about the children. So, hell no, we ain't doing this. My father is wrong. No. He had to do course correction, okay? Messy, freaking messy, okay? Messy on messy, okay? So, all of that is going on. Then your vitiligo is getting worse and worse and worse. And because of the times, right, people are not super used to vitiligo. So, and Michael has self-esteem issues because of why? Joseph Jackson, once again. So, he's trying to fix everything, and then y'all making him feel bad because y'all like, oh, he's trying to be white, he's trying to do this, he's trying to do that. Honey, this man endured so freaking much, okay? From your father telling you have a big nose and that you ain't nothing, to third-degree burns on your scalp, to vitiligo and lupus, all at once. And I just think about it so much because I'm like, if Michael never did all the cosmetic things that he had to do to fix himself so he could live a slightly okay life where he felt okay slightly about himself, he would be a bald, patchy, lupus with the whole redness of his cheeks man who just feels not good about himself. And I just think that we have to give a lot of credit to Michael. He tried to do what he tried to do to fix himself, to feel halfway decent, okay? And to be that big of a star, where remote villages know who you are, that's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of pressure. So, at the end of the day, I hate you, Joseph Jackson. I hate you so much. You did so much damage to your son. And not just your son, but your kids in general. Like, you did so much damage to them kids. And I just... Sir, you are never going to get no pleasantries from me, okay? I will never say a kind word about you, Mr. Joseph Jackson. Okay? Wherever you may be in the atmosphere, you ain't getting no nice pleasantries from me. Okay, sir? The way you really put the fear in Michael Jackson and your other kids too, disrespectful. Okay? The way you only cared about money, the way you only cared about fame, the way you did not really care about the human beings living inside of these kids. You didn't care. And I don't care how much people want to say, oh, but, you know, if it wasn't for Joseph, they would never have gotten out of Gary, Indiana. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. Those kids were talented enough they could have done it on their own. So no, mismute the BS. But you know what? Joseph Jackson, I'm going to have beef with you until the end of time. You ain't even here on this plane, but I'm going to have beef with you forever. Because, sir, and don't even get me started on Conrad Murray. Don't even get me started on that man. Don't even get me started on that man, okay? I obviously hate Joseph Jackson just a little bit more because he really made Michael's life hell on earth. But Conrad Murray, you're not off the hook, sir. Michael Jackson should still be here, okay? And but honestly, Coleman Domingo knocked it out of the park, okay? Because I was already just like nervous that Coleman Domingo was gonna make me like Joseph Jackson, because you know Coleman Domingo's a very personable guy. He's just super sweet and nice. And I was like, oh, good grief, he's gonna make me like Joseph. He did not. He did not. He made me scared of Joseph. I was like, claps for Coleman Domingo. And also, Nia Long did her big one when it came to playing Catherine, okay? I will always love Angela Bassett as Catherine, okay? Miss Katie. But Nia Long did her big one. Shout out to both Coleman Domingo and Nia Long. Y'all killed it. But yeah, Joseph Jackson, you're always going to be on my shit list, sir. Forever and always.